stands for as many reps as possible. So in an AMRAP, you choose the amount of time. Today we're going to be doing 10 minutes. And you give yourself 10 minutes, you set a timer, and you just do as many reps as you can in that 10-minute or whatever time interval you want time span. So we're going to keep it really, really basic today because it's kind of one of the first ones we're doing. So what we're going to do is we're going to do 10 reps of each one of the exercises, and we're going to do them as many times as we can all the way through for 10 minutes. Your total is going to be, so every time you finish a whole round, there'll be 3 exercises. When you finish a whole round, that's 1, right? And then at the very end, you can count like the last little reps that you have at the end. So it'll be like 10 dot and then whatever you have left over at the end. Say you got through 2 of the exercises, it'll be 10 dot 20. So the 3 exercises we are going to be doing today are quite simple. Like I said, we're going to keep it nice and easy here. So the first one is going to be a jump. So you're going to squat down nice and low into your squat. When you squat, you want to make sure your knees are tracking over your toes. So knees are going right over the toes. And your butt is going as far back as possible. And the knees are actually going to stay as parallel or as perpendicular to your ankles as possible. You don't want to do this kind of thing. Keep the knees back, butt out, so you come down and up. And you can swing your arms. So you're going to do that 10 times. For those of you who want to add a little extra to it, you breathe in. Ha! 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 Alright, so you let out a nice little ha at the end of each one of your jumps as you land. So that's the first exercise. Exercise number 2, you're going to be coming down and doing push-ups. So, for those of you who can do full push-ups, you're going to have the hands right under the shoulders. You come down and back up. For those of you who cannot do these, you can do what some people call girly push-ups. I don't like to call them that, but they're just knees down. So you bring your knees down so that your hips stay up. And same thing, hands are going to be under the shoulders. You come down. So there's many different kinds of push-ups. You can do whatever floats your boat here. If you want your arms to go out nice and wide, that's fine. You want to squeeze the elbows in, that's fine. Whatever push-up is best for you. So we've got our jumps, we've got our push-ups. The last one we're going to do is bicycles. So you come all the way down to the floor, and for a bicycle, you're going to be in this crunched up position with your hands behind your head. Left knee comes in, right foot goes out. Bring the right elbow to the left knee, and then switch. 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 So how you count these is every time your right elbow comes to your left knee. All right? So it'd be like 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to run through one round of these just to kind of show you how to get into and out of each one of the exercises as simply as possible. And then I will let you guys go. So, starting off with the jumps, we'll say I set my timer. You go, ha, 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 ha. Right down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then you would just get right back up and start doing the jumps again. So it's really pretty simple. Take it slow first. If you want to do it fast later on, if you have more time and you want to try to do it again, beat your score, that's awesome. Just pace yourself, because 10 minutes, as much as it doesn't seem like a long time, can be a long time when you're doing this kind of stuff. All right? Are going to be jumping lunges, plank wheels, and, oh my gosh, what was the third? Oh, and tug-ups. Sorry, mind blank there. So jumping lunges, plank wheels, and tug-ups. So I'm going to go over them for you guys real quick. There are a couple different level options for you to start trying out a few different levels. So the first one is jumping lunges. So very simple. You get into your lunge, and then when it's time to switch, you jump and switch. So for those of you who have bad knees or bad ankles, you are more than welcome to just come down into your lunge and just step rather than jump. But in order to really be able to get that heart pumping, the blood going, the cardio really moving, the jump is really what's going to help you here. So you come down in your lunge, jump up, switch, up, switch. So the way we're going to count these is we're going to count on our right leg. So every time your right leg comes forward, that will be 1. So you're not 1, 2, 3. It's 1, 2, 3. Okay? So that's how we're going to count the lunges. And again, like I said, if you have any issues with your knees or ankles, you are more than welcome to step this instead. The second exercise we are doing is a plank wheel. So I call it a plank wheel. Some people call them like plank push-ups. You're welcome to call it whatever you like. For this purpose, for this video, I'm just going to call it the plank wheel because that's what I grew up kind of calling it. So it's pretty simple. You're going to get into your plank position. So hands directly under the shoulders, feet come back, hips are up, core is tight. So you're going to start off here and come down, left forearm to the right forearm, come back up, left, right, come down, right, left, right, left. All right? So even though we're doing both sides here, you don't actually have to count just the right arm ones. You can come down on the left, back up on the left, that's 1, down on the right, back up on the right, that's 2. So I'm just going to demo real quick how you'll count these. Come into your plank. One, 2, 3, 4. The two important things to remember here are going to be to make sure that we're switching the arms so that we're getting an equal amount of exercise being done on both arms. And the other part is going to be to really remember to keep that core engaged so the hips stay up. If you start to notice that your hips are coming down and that you're not able to keep them up and you've got this really bad form where your hips are kind of down here, then we need to switch something up. You always want your hips up here. If you need to, bring yourself down to your knees. So I say this not so I can give you guys an out. All right, if you can keep your hips up, I implore you to please try to stay up on your toes in the back and keep that nice strong plank position. But if your form is going downhill because we're tired and we just don't have the strength to hold the full exercise, then please do come down to your knees. We want to avoid as many injuries as possible. So that is the plank push-up. Plank wheel, sorry, either way. So the next one that we are doing is a tuck-up. So the tuck-up is a fairly simple movement, but it is very hard on the abs because we are coming up both from the knees and from the shoulders. So when you go into a tuck-up, your arms are going to be out in front. You're never going to move them around. You're going to be right here. And you're just going to tuck up and back out. Up and out. Up and out. Okay? So you want to kind of make sure that your shoulders aren't ever fully touching the ground, and you want to make sure that your feet are staying up off the ground. You notice I'm up here. When I come down, shoulders are up, feet are up, and then you tuck up. So for those of you who want to push yourself a little bit, make this a little bit harder, you are welcome to do this as a V-up or a V-sit instead of a tuck-up. For that, it's almost the same except that your legs are now straight, making that lever nice and long, making the fulcrum have to work harder. So you come down and back up. Again, keeping the arms nice and straight and not allowing us to throw our arms into the momentum. So I'm going to go ahead and demo what these 3 exercises should look like in their full 10 reps and how to get from one to the other, and then you will be up next. So when you write your score, just remember, comment it down in the comments, and please do not forget to focus on your form and the exercise itself. The score is just for you to be able to compare yourself in the future to see how much you've improved. It's not to compare yourself to the other people in this group. All right? So let's go ahead and get started. Starting with those lunges. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right back up. 1. And so today our 3 exercises are going to be tricep dips, hamstring hip lifts, and I'm blanking out again. I constantly blank out on all the exercises. So we've got, and high knee jumps. So I'm going to go over the different options that we have for these exercises. As always, there are a lot of different levels to this, so you can pick whatever level is going to work for you depending on where you're at in your fitness. So the first one we have is the tricep dips. Level 1 tricep dip is all the way down on the floor. So you start down on the floor kind of in a reverse tabletop for those of you who do yoga, but essentially it's going to be hips up, hands behind you, feet down, just in this position right here. You'll dip, whoop, I'm getting balls in my way. Bring the hips down, bend the elbows, and back up. So the important part here isn't that the hips are moving, it's that the elbows are bending nice and deep, and our triceps are getting a nice good workout. All right, so that is the first level. Level 2 will be your hands up on a chair. Your feet can stay down on the floor. So for this one, you keep your legs nice and straight. You can bend them if you want, but pretty much you can keep your legs straight, and you just come down and back up. 2, 3, 4, 5. So the last level, the hardest level, for those of you who really want to challenge yourselves, you're going to bring your feet up on another chair. All right? So this can be done on a couch, 2 chairs. If you have just 1 chair and you're doing level 2, you're fine there as well. Just get creative, see what you have around the house, what you can use. So for level 3, the feet are up. Slide the buttocks off the chair and just let yourself come down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's the first exercise. That is the tricep dip. The next one we have is going to be the hamstring hip lift. So my personal favorite way to do this is actually with a ball. Big round things that you have everywhere. So if you have a like a bouncy ball, or what are they? They're called something else. the big giant bouncy balls, okay? If you have one of those, perfect. In my opinion, it's the best way to do this because you're stabilizing your hips as much as you're actually doing the exercise for the hamstring. And it also reinforces the hamstring because you're constantly pulling against the ball so that it doesn't roll away. So if you have a giant bouncy ball, I suggest you use it. If you don't, a kitchen chair will do the trick. So I'll demonstrate both. For those of you who have the kitchen chair, you're going to come all the way down to the floor, let yourself lay down, put your feet up on the chair. Hands come down by your sides, and then we're just going to lift the hips. 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's the same basic movement when you're using the bouncy ball, but you'll notice when I do this, the ball moves around. So when you're using the ball, yes, your feet are a little bit lower to the ground, unless you have a larger ball or it's not as deflated as mine. But you're able to kind of hold that ball up and close to you. So if you're using the ball, don't put your whole leg on it. Kind of just try to rest your heels and lift up. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Woo. So the bouncy ball is really going to help you kind of stabilize. It's going to work the hips a little bit more. It's going to work the hamstrings a little bit more because you're pulling constantly on the ball to keep it stable and where it is rather than letting it roll away each time. So again, if you have the bouncy ball, that's my #1 suggestion for this. Last up is our high knee tuck jumps. So when you're doing this, you're going to keep your elbows tucked in at your sides and keep them at about a 90-degree angle so that our hands are out in front of us. And from here, you're going to jump up, tuck the knees in towards your chest, and at least smack your hands. If you can bring your knees up higher, kudos. But if we can at least bring our hands to our knees to our hands where they are at about this height, you're well off. For those of you who have knee or ankle injuries, you may not want to do this kind of movement just because it's going to put a lot of stress on the knees. You are welcome to go ahead and do crunches, so 10 crunches. For those of you who can and don't have knee issues, here's the basic movement. You're just jumping up, right? And you're going to try to do it as fast as you can. It's extremely hard to keep your pace up, but if you can do it, kudos. All right, so as always, I'm going to demonstrate the 3 exercises for you. I am going to demonstrate at level 1, and you guys are welcome to modify however you would like. So we set our timer, 10 minutes. Put that there. Whoops. Started with the wrong one. All right. So this is the level 1 tricep. Start the timers and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bring it down. Steal my ball. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Whew. So there we go. That's how you do it. When you guys. Hey guys. So we are doing an AMRAP again today. We're going to set it up the exact same way that we did last time. So it's going to be a 10-minute AMRAP with 3 different exercises that we were going to be doing 10 reps of each. So just to kind of recap, what you do is you quickly set your timer, 10 minutes, and then you'll go ahead and you'll do 10 reps of each exercise. And since this is an AMRAP, we're doing as many reps as possible. So you're going to continue going through the whole cycle of all 3 exercises as many times as you can in that 10 minutes. Your final score is going to be, the first number will be how many rounds you did, dot, and then however many extra reps you had. So say I got through 4 rounds and then I did an extra 3 exercises at the end, my score will be 4.3. So that's pretty much how it works. So our 3 exercises today are going to be burpees, inchworms, and crunches. So there's a couple different levels to all 3 of these exercises. So I'm going to go over the different levels for you so that depending on where you're at in your workouts, you're able to follow along. So number 1 is the burpee. So the most simple way, I would say like a level 1 way of doing a burpee, is simply reach your arms up, down, step back, hold, deep breath in and out, and then come back up, reach the hands up again. So very simply, it looks something like this. So that would be the burpee. So that's level 1. Level 2, we add a little bit more to it. So you get a jump, come down, kick back, still hold that plank, a whole breath in and out, and then jump back up and jump up. So that would be level 2. Level 3, or the most intense, is going to be the full burpee, which has a jump and a push-up. So, looks a little something like this. Jump up, down, push-up. Jump up, down, push-up. Okay? So those are the 3 levels. You can definitely pick what you want to do with this. And keep in mind that there are 2 other exercises that are going to go into this as well. So that is the burpee. The second exercise we are doing is an inchworm. And again, there are 2 levels for this. So, regular inchworm, you can either start at the back of your mat, hands come down, walk the hands up, come to that plank, hold for a whole breath, and then walk the feet up to the hands, and up, or you can do the opposite way. Come down, walk the feet back, hold that plank for a whole breath, and then walk the hands back. So if you don't have a lot of room, like I do, I have my little mat here, you can do what I typically do, which is a static. So you go one way forwards and then one way backwards. Each one is a rep, so you don't have to like go forwards, backwards, 1. Just forwards, 1 rep, backwards, 1 rep. So just to kind of give you a little quick peek what it'll look like. Come down. And there's 2. All right, so the other option to that is to actually add a push-up into it. So for those of you who want to get a little bit more out of this, who want to really start working that upper body, get those little muscles going in the arms, they always look great. So what you're going to do is you're going to add a push-up to this. Very simple. Again, you can do it with either direction. So same thing, you start arms up, let yourself come down, walk out to that plank, and instead of holding, we just come down and up, walk the feet up towards the hands. There's 1. Come back down, walk the feet back, push up, walk the hands back. There's 2. So that is the options for the inchworm or inchworm push-up. You can pick whichever one you want. Last up, we have our crunch. So the crunch, it's really pretty simple. Most of us know what we're doing with a crunch. So the crunch is what I'm setting as the actual exercise for today. It's really simple. We're going to do a knees bent, interlocking the fingers, hands behind the head, Keep those elbows pulling down as far as you can. This is going to help to stretch out that upper body that we're working with our push-ups from the burpees and the inchworms. And just crunch up and down. So that's your typical crunch. For those of you, again, who want to take this a little bit further, who want to push a little bit harder, you can go ahead and go into a full sit-up. So for the full sit-up, hands, let me scoot this way. Your hands should touch, fingertips should touch in the back of your head, and then we are going to allow you to swing your arms forward so that fingertips can touch again by your toes. So hands come back, touch, forward touch, back touch, and forward touch. When you do this, try not to like swing your arms forward for your momentum, because you're going to lose the ability that you have in your core to really be able to get you up, and you're just going to be relying on the momentum from your arms. For those of you who are just really trying to get the crunch in or the sit-up in, you just really want to be able to get that going. You know, no harm, no foul if you do use momentum from your arms, but it's better to try to do the movement slowly and the correct way rather than doing it very quickly and just powering through. So just keep that in mind as you do this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate the level 1 version real quick for one round for you guys. And then again, you guys are welcome to do this whenever you have the time. You go ahead and set your timer for 10 minutes. And when you're done, just go ahead and put your score down in the comments. So for the level 1, we're going to go ahead and get started. This is one round. One, two, three, four, five, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. On back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then you come right back up into your burpee.